Hi, my name is Rich Ochs, and I'm the Emergency Management Coordinator for Teton County, Wyoming. And today I want to show you guys copies of the CAPTRS games MC Firetruck Edition and MC City Blackout Edition. We just got these in the mail. I had a chance to give them a try at the International Association of Emergency Managers Conference in 2024. And it was a really great experience kind of playing through the game, and we wanted to bring it to our community. So we'll go ahead and show you some of the stuff that we got in here. The first thing that we saw when we opened up the box was the manual, and everything is packaged in Ziploc bags to protect everything. Very well made. You can tell it's kind of glossy paper. There's a ton of diagrams. Haven't had a chance to read through the whole manual yet, but it looks really straightforward with all the examples. A lot of facilitator tips and things in there that we thought were pretty cool. The other thing that came in there was this, haven't even opened it yet, a Ziploc bag full of the game boards, looks like here. So if we open one of these up, we'll see, yeah, so this looks like the board that we played on at the conference at IAEM, and we can see that this is half of the board right here. Pretty good size, really big hexes, something that is very easy to read from across the room. So the 2 to 8 players and up to 8 people observing, these large format boards with really clear printing on them will make that a lot easier, especially if you have a bunch of people standing around and looking at the table. And then here we can see is the board with all the actions, it looks like, from there. Really well made, really nicely printed. Easy to see, easy to read. And then it looks like we've got the other half of the board here. Yep. Got a lot of paper here protecting everything. And we can see the other half of the board. So 3 boards in total. And unless there's other stuff inside the boxes here, which we'll find out in a minute. So there's 2 boxes that came with it. So we can see that there's the power outage, which is, this is the version that I tried at IAEM, and then I didn't even realize this was coming in the box. This is a Firetruck edition, which from looking at the manual appears to be an intro game, so a little shorter, like maybe playing through 1 or 2 turns to help understand the mechanisms of the game, so then you can get into the full game after that. So in here I could see that we've got a bunch of timers, which were a key component, and some dice of the Blackout game. So this isn't the Firetruck game. Looks like we've got a couple little token holders. Some laser cut, looks like these are to block off some of the spaces on the action board here. You can see those. And then it looks like we've got some cards and tokens to punch out when we get the time here. So there's some maybe tokens. I have to read. I haven't read through all the rules yet, so I don't know what they're for. And some stickers here to put on some of the spaces. And then it looks like there's a facilitator support guide for the Firetruck edition. There's kind of a printed sheet that explains, looks like the introductory rules. And there is another board. So there's a couple extra boards that come in the Firetruck edition. So you're not using the boards that come with the the Blackout game, apparently. So this looks like a much smaller board of the big board that comes in there, but still large enough to read for a lot of people to get around the table. So that'll be good. And then there's a second board here inside of the Firetruck edition. And this looks like some of the issues that you've got to resolve in the game. Go on to this board. So yeah, more boards, more laser cut pieces. It looks like you're not reusing any of the pieces that you have in the power outage game, because you got your own timers and everything in the Firetruck edition. The rule book is combined though, so the rule book does have the rules for both the Firetruck and the City Blackout game as well. So that is MC Firetruck edition. And if we get a look at City Blackout, this is the main game with the boards that we had just looked at a moment ago. And yeah, so we can see here we've got a ton of timers that have come in this edition and dice. So these are used for placing your resources and kind of add that time element to the game for those that have tried it before. You have more laser cut pieces that block out the actions on the board. And then we have some cards here. So these are some pretty really glossy, kind of nice cardstock, stand up to quite a few uses with players, especially if we're playing with a bunch of people and using this game over and over again. Looks like there's a couple quick guides to help out players during the game. So we could see it's got a bonus guide on one side and a quick guide on the other. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 of these. So for playing with 8 players, or even to give some to some of the observers so they understand what's going on, that could help them out. And then we have, looks like more of the tokens. So these you can kind of see there. Oh, I just popped one out there. So this is a pretty thick token, and there's a bunch of these that you'll probably have to punch out, but a little nicer than a bingo chip, and will be really good for players to use and move around on the board to cover up the different things that they achieve in the game. And the last thing, there's a couple other things in here. So we've got another die cut board here, another laser cut board. We can see some of the pieces are kind of coming out, which is good, because then that means it's easier to take apart and put together and punch out. But this looks like the dice tower that you put together. So when you roll the dice, they don't go all over the table. They kind of go into a nice little tray, so everything stays in one place. So that's a really great addition, really thoughtful on the parts of the game publisher and designer, CAPTRS, because that could really derail things if you're constantly chasing dice around as you're trying to make these important decisions. Another facilitator support guide. So just a simple sheet of paper here, nothing on the back, that kind of gives some basic outline to the rounds and things, kind of like a refresher for the facilitator that's putting it on. And looks like there's a time track. Can't really remember what this does, but this is in the Blackout game. And then lastly, it looks like we've got another sticker sheet. So expect to punch a few things out, probably put some stickers on a couple things, but there isn't a ton, other than putting that dice tower together, there isn't a ton to put together, punch out. There's not a lot of like cardboard pieces or anything. So it's kind of nice, so it should be easy to set up. So that is the City Blackout and Firetruck edition, everything that was in the box. and it looks like some really great components. We're really looking forward to trying it out here in our Emergency Operations Center with some of our decision makers, and hopefully this helps you out as you're looking at the product. Thank you.